Taking a look at example 2, I'm going to go from -7 to -12, that's one answer. -4 to -9, that's one answer. 2 to 3, that's one answer. And 5 to 0, well, that's one answer. So yes, this is a function. So you might ask yourself, is everything a function? No, not everything is a function. Let me give you an example of something that's not a function. Let's say I've got the numbers 5, 6, and 9. And let's say over here I've got the numbers 1, 3, and -3. Let's say 5 goes to 1, 6 goes to -3, and 9 goes to 3 and -3. This is not a function. The reason it's not a function is 9 isn't predictable. Okay? So if I would say an input of 9 gives 2 outputs, 3 and -3. If we look, let's go to the next page of our seminar. A function is continuous if you can draw it in one motion without picking up your pencil. So if I can draw this without picking up my pencil, it's continuous. If it's not continuous, then there'll be a break in my line. So let's take a look at an example here. It says there are 3 lunch periods. Sorry about that. There are 3 lunch periods. Woo, get back here, dog. There we go. There are 3 lunch periods at school. The first lunch period has 352 students. The second lunch period has 304 students. And the third lunch period has 391 students. Make a table showing the number of students for each of the 3 lunch periods. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to have my table is going to be the lunch period, and the students. So during the first lunch period, we have 352 students. During the second lunch period, there are 304 students. During the third period, there are 391 students. Now I want to determine the domain and the range. The domain are the set of all the inputs. So now you put that in set notation. So my domain is 1, 2, and 3. That's my inputs. My range is going to be my set of outputs. So I'm going to have 352, 304, and 391. And there's your domain and range. Now we're going to represent our data as a set of ordered pairs on the graph. Now first off, notice I only gave you the first quadrant because we're talking about lunch. We can't have negative numbers. And there are 20 tick marks going on along each side. So what I'm going to do, I don't want all my points in the tiny little corner here. I want you to spread out the graph. Since I have 3 lunch periods, what I'm going to do, I think I'll count by 5s, but not by 5s, by 1/5. So what I'm going to do is each tick mark is going to be 1/5. So I'm going to have 0. Here's my first lunch period. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. So now I got my lunch period spread out. Now if I look at my range from a previous page, I'm going to go from my smallest at 304 to my biggest one at 391. So I probably want to go from 300 to 400 because I want a little bit of a margin. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a break in my graph to show. I'm going to put a break in my graph. I'm going to put a little break right there. I'm going to start at 300. So there are 20 tick marks. So if I counted by tens, that should be a nice way to get up to 400, have it spread out and not have everything in one little corner. If I count by 5s, I'd run out of room. So I'm going to go 300, 310, 320, 330, 340, 350, 360, 370, 380, 390, and 400. Now, I could keep on counting, but I really don't need to at this point. Now let's plot our 3 points. So my 3 points are, my first launch period is 352. So I'm going to go over 1, I'm going to go up 352. So in other words, 350, a little bit above 350. So there is 1 and 352. My second launch period, I'm going to have 304. So here's 304. My third launch period, we have 391. Now the question is, should we connect these points? No, we should not connect these points because you can't have part of a lunch period. There is no half lunch period. There's no 1.2 lunch period. You're either in the first lunch period or in the second lunch period. We call those categorical data, but that's all we're going to do. So is this function discrete or continuous? Well, it's discrete because it's not continuous. Continuous I can draw without lifting up my pencil. I cannot draw this without lifting up my pencil. And then why is it? Because each point is separate. There is no 1.5 lunch period. And there we have it.